We've seen how we can negate the awful message that you get when you cause an error using your VBA by simply using the onError statement. And we've seen resume next or go to and then handling the error in that way. What we can also do is actually capture the number of the error and the description for that number and possibly make uses of that as well. So in the error file, you'll find this contains our little cube procedure. And if we do a 64, Control-Shift-Y is the same shortcut to run it, we get a cube root of 4. Now in the Visual Basic, if we run an error, we simply get an error occurred, please try again. We can make that a little bit more user-friendly. Let's comment that bit out by adding a message box. Now that gives us firstly the error number, and that's generated from the ERR object, so ERR.number. Let's put a comma in there so we can distinguish between the ERR number and the ERR.description. You see that they're both properties of the ERR object. Obviously this ERR object doesn't exist until there is an error. But now if we were to generate an error by trying to work out the cube root of Guy, we get 13, which is the error number, and type mismatch. So obviously you can't do the cube root of a piece of text. If we do a negative number, we get 5, invalid procedure call or argument, because you can't call the cube root on a negative number. So there's 2 numbers that we already know. So as well as being able to perhaps put out those error numbers to people with a description, those descriptions are not totally user-friendly. Instead of doing that, we could capture the ERR number and then decide what to do with it. So let's declare a message as string, and then we'll say if ERR.number equals 5, then our MSG is going to be you cannot cube root a piece of text, change to a number. And if, let's do a copy and paste to save some typing. So if the ERR number equals 13, you cannot cube root a negative number, change to a number. What we ought to do is set the value of MSG here as indeterminate error number, add on the number. So our message is going to be indeterminate error number, whatever the number might be. However, if it's 5, then we're going to change the MSG to this. If it's 13, we're going to change the MSG to this. And then all we need to do is actually output the MSG. So let's see that in action. So it's a negative number, run the routine. You cannot cube root a piece of text, change to a number. Could be that I've got my error numbers the wrong way around here. Let's try Guy. Cannot cube root a negative number. It would appear I have. That should be 5, and that should be 13. Control-Shift-Y, cannot cube root a piece of text, cannot cube root a negative number, change to a number. Now any other errors that you might generate would then fall under indeterminate error. So because we can decipher what the error number is, we could actually output that error number in the error description, or we can overwrite that error description by creating our own user-defined error messages that hopefully will read and make more sense to your final end users than the straightforward, plain-speaking, very IT-based VBA errors. This information is stored in the ERR object, and we have ERR.number as a property and ERR.description as a property.